welcome back. Today we have some amazing releases. For Jazz Bums episode 10, we are going to do our top 5 favorite 45 RPM audiophile releases. Remember to like and subscribe. And with that, I'm going to kick it over to Felipe to get started.
Thank you so much, Mike. Yes, so today we're going over 45 RPM, really nice releases. I'm gonna pick my first one, okay? And it's from a label. This series was highly recommended. I don't have the full Verve series, I have the full Blue Note series, but that's the CD already is amazing. But the 45 RPM version, unbeatable.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Unbeatable. It sounds like those guys like whisper in your ear.
What is that one called?
Ella Lewis.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. In my case now it's Ella Lewis Lewis.
That's a great record. I have the 33 RPM.
Yeah.
It sounds
That's
amazing.
that's the 45 from the Analog Productions Verve series. That's the only Verve series acoustic sound that I skipped because this thing is a monster. I mean, the music is so good. The pressing, the transfer is good. I mean, the way they're here with you and very loud and clear. It's amazing. Really, really good. Everybody should have this record.
That's an awesome one for
That's
sure.
cool. I still haven't picked up the acoustic sounds one. I need to do that.
It's good. It's a staple, just jazz staple. Yeah, belongs in any jazz collection.
Mine would be a little bit different because I kind of picked sections of records for this, so I'm cheating a little bit. So my first one is Miles Davis, MoFi, right? And
All
then
right, what ones you got?
5 of these. So I've got the Porgy and Bess,
Okay. Ooh.
Kilimanjaro, it's a great
Yep.
one.
Yep.
ESP, which you have the Impex ESP, don't you, Mike?
Yeah, I do. It sounds really good.
And then High in the Sky, right?
Yeah, Miles in the Sky.
Miles in the Sky.
Yeah, that is my favorite.
This one, and then I've got Sorcerer, which is one I picked up recently. I haven't listened to that one much. So these sound great. We all remember the MoFi controversy. These are all digital, but they sound badass. Do you have any of them, Mike? I can't remember.
I do. And those generally, I mean, everybody says compared to the originals that they generally are far superior to them. And except for, I think with the exception of kind of Blue, maybe, because I think I guess the mastering choices that MoFi did, some people don't like it as much, but I think all the rest of them are pretty much like the best versions you can get.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Harley's said it many times that we've seen on different shows that he has all the originals and he prefers the MoFis. So,
all right. So the first one is a Music Matters Jazz, Lou Donaldson. Lou Takes Off. So it says great cover. And the lineup here is Donald Byrd, Curtis Fuller, Sonny Clark, George Joyner, Art Taylor, and it's Blue Note 1591. So Music Matters. I have a handful of them, and they all sound fantastic. They're all the ones I have are 45 RPM, and they're great. I mean, this is a great session. I love Lou Donaldson. So this is my first pick.
Very cool. I don't have that record in any form. Felipe, you have that one, right?
Yes, I actually, let me see, where is it? Yeah, I have the Music Matters and I have Van Gelder here.
Yeah, very cool.
That's United, yes. They're both amazing, but the Music Matters better for sure.
Yeah,
for
and this
sure.
is a 1958 session.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the art's amazing, right? I love the cover. I haven't heard the record yet, though. Yep. All right, what's next for you, Felipe?
So now for me next, it's going to be around the singers on Analog Productions. I saw a video talking about great female recordings on mostly on Analog Productions.
Ooh.
And then I immediately, they were out of stock, but I placed my back order, everything. This one.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. That's a 45?
Yeah.
Yep. That's actually 33. I'm sorry. I have 45 here. That's a 45.
Oh, okay.
Also,
Oh, yeah.
also.
Yeah.
So I was going to include those two records because they sound amazing. They're also landmarks in jazz and vocals and singing, everything. And Julia Lona has become a favorite. I found many Julia Lona records out in the wild. Her covers are amazing. The way she sings are amazing. It's like is very sings close and very inviting, very personal in a sense. I really dig listening to her singing.
Yeah, she I think she even described her own voice as like being very thin, but she's able to, so it's not like you can compare her to like an Ella Fitzgerald or something.
No,
But she's able to kind of work it in her own way
yeah,
for like for jazz music, and I think it really works. I mean, she's
yeah.
great. So she has a very unique voice. So
I think, Mike, it's something similar to what happened in Brazil in Bossa Nova. I think we talked about that before. When microphones really kicked in, they got much better.
Mhm.
People realized they didn't have to yell or shout
Right.
or
Exactly.
sing very loud. They could be very. That's what created João Gilberto, for example,
Yep.
and the whole movement. Microphones catching the voice really well,
Mhm.
so you can be subtle, and that's I think she's the best at doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that record. I want it. I would like to get that if they repress it. I think it's probably out of stock.
That's a good one, and also this is a Stereo 33, but this is a very good one as well.
Yeah. I've listened to both of those streaming before. I'd like to get those.
Yeah,
I'd like to get that Helen Merrill too. Actually,
yeah. Those analog productions are like top notch, outstanding.
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm definitely wanting that Helen Merrill. One of the live streams that Chad was on, asked the question, and he said it should get repressed at some point.
Well, that's good.
The last time it got repressed, it like sold out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. 1 or 2 hours.
I've got some analog productions to show.
oh God.
Ooh.
These are old, so these are the Nat King Cole 45s.
Oh yes.
Cool.
Yet.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I've heard those Nat King Coles, that the originals that they put a lot of reverb on him, and those pretty much remove it, so that it's a really different experience listening to those.
I think I have all these. Do you remember how many there are, Felipe?
5 or 6, Chris. I got them all as well. I think the triple, the last one, came out a few months ago.
Yeah.
This one is.
This is probably my favorite one, honestly.
Yeah.
They're wonderful. I mean, his singing, of course, is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
They're recorded
in
the 50s and amazingly recorded. So
yeah,
they're beautiful. I mean, if you have the opportunity to buy them while they're still in stock, you should, because they're going away soon from Audiophile.
Are they out of print already? So I think some are.
Some are, I think so, yeah. And they're just going to get more expensive. The only thing that sucks about them is they have kind of crappy covers.
Yeah, the flimsy old school.
Old school covers, yeah.
Yeah, I think only After Midnight is out of stock. I think the rest of them are still available.
That's cool.
So number 4 for me. This is another Music Matters Jazz. I picked this up from Fred Putterman, and so thank you, Fred. And it's features swing song Sam Rivers. So Sam Rivers is a pretty well-known avant-garde player. He played with Miles for a short period of time, and he has a few Blue Note releases. And he on this one, it's I listened to it today when we were preparing for the video, and this is way more like approachable. I think this is a good entry point to Sam Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony Williams is on this. It's a quartet, so it's Sam Rivers, Jackie Byard, Ron Carter, and Tony Williams.
Oh man,
and it's great.
Which year is that, Mike?
This is 1965 or recorded 64.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so these Music Matters, they have the session photography, and really nice tip-on jackets.
Yeah. Because those guys, they had worked previously at the quintet, right, for a few months.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so Ron Carter, Tony Williams. I don't know if Jackie Byard, did he play with Miles?
No, but Yeah, so Sam, Ron Carter, and Tony Williams, they were at the same. Yeah, this recording here has them together. The quintet minus Wayne Shorter when Sam Rivers played with them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And then from there, did Miles cycle in Mobley, or did he go to George Coleman?
No, Mobley was before that.
So is Mobley, Sam Rivers, then George Coleman?
Yes, it was Sam Rivers, George Coleman by those days, and then Herbie met Wayne. I think was in Canada. I think they met and they said, "Come join us," and he quit his band and joined the quintet. And then they finally found their quintessential formation. They're probably the best band ever.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. That Fuchsia Swing song is an amazing record. I have a 75th anniversary copy that doesn't sound very good. So I'm hoping they'll redo it as a classic series.
yeah.
And this one is still up for grabs, right, Mike?
This one, yes, I think you can get this on Music Matters website still, and it's not. I don't think it's the most expensive one. I think it may be like $80 or something like that.
Yeah,
I might have to consider that if it's $80. I just refuse to pay like $200 for a record.
Yeah, that's steep for a single record.
I just can't, man. I just can't do it. I mean, the Bill Evans box set kind of broke me. I was buying exclusive records for quite some time. So, you know. What's funny is I didn't even consider that in the list today. The top 5. I didn't even put that on the box set.
I thought I'm so bitter about that box set. I haven't even considered it.
I know.
It
hurt too a little bit.
My number 3. I knew this label, this guy for quite some time, but I always kind of like, no. I think it's a never considered them highly. And from hearing so much about them, I decided, okay, let me give it a shot. And this is, let me pick it up. Music Matters, awesome.
Oh yeah.
This was my very first Music Matters.
Oh wow.
So I'm quite happy with this record. I do love it. And not the best Mobley in my opinion. I have other Mobley favorites, but you know,
that cover.
I think it's such a it's a badass cover. The photo session, everything here is just so amazing, so amazing.
So who else is on? Who else on that one with him?
Oh, Bill Hartman, Curtis Porter, Sonny Clark, Paul Chambers, and Art Taylor. As far as I can reach.
And that's an early. Was that a 10-inch or was that always a 12-inch?
No, that was always a 12-inch.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have that one too, don't you, Mike?
I do. And that's still in stock as well on Music Matters. And I think that one's like $60. And it was 50 for a long time. So I picked it up and it's a good one. The first track on it is like an earworm. It'll get stuck in your head all day. But it's a good one. There's a few other ones on there that I think are better. But you know, all Hank Mobley stuff is good from that era.
All right, so from number 3, group of records. Again, get a set here. So these
thought about this one.
These are my John Coltrane org records. These are all 45s. They all sound great. This one I will bitch about a little bit in a second. So we got Ole. We've got Bags and Train, which this is really good. I like this one a lot.
Yeah.
That was my first.
This is my favorite Coltrane record, period. Coltrane Jazz. I just love this one. And then what else? My favorite things.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I'll add this might be my favorite one. Coltrane.
I was going to say, yeah, that's mine too, Blues.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great one. So the only complaint about the Ole one is the main song is like cut in half because it's, too long on one side of 45. So maybe skip this one. I mean, it still sounds amazing, but that is kind of weird. The rest of them sound great. And the interesting thing to me is I love all Coltrane stuff now, but like when I was first getting into him, this Atlantic stuff isn't like super wild necessarily, right? Like it's not like those Impulse records we all have, right? What's the one I'm thinking of that we grow up to listen to, huh?
Yeah. Ascension?
No, that we all have the acoustic sound series ones when we couldn't listen to
Village
Side.
Vanguard?
Yeah, Village
second side of Village
Yeah.
Vanguard.
Yeah. Now it's like fine for us, right?
Yeah.
But a year ago or whatever, when that record came out, and we were listening to it. It was the side two. I remember we were all spinning it together and talking, and we were like, "Okay, this is just too much for me. I can't listen to this." So,
And
Felipe, you have these org records too, right? What do you think of them? Like, how do you think they compare to some of the other 45 stuff?
I love them. The only org I don't have, I'm not even sure if they made it. I have like an early pressing of Giant Steps, but I don't think Origin did that, right?
I don't know. I don't have that. I have the Rhino one from this year or whatever. I don't know if they did that one. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
They did.
That one is a really good one, but I think the ORG they have they're so clear, they're so well done, and it's 45. I think they're really really good.
Absolutely agree. Do you have any of those, Mike?
Nope, I didn't pick up any of them. I would like to get that one you showed. It's like the blues one, that last one.
Yeah.
You showed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would recommend, if for me, Coltrane Jazz is really good, and then again, Coltrane Plays the Blues is just badass.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to get all those records. I just don't know. Like, I would like an Olay, but now that you mentioned that they cut off one of the songs.
And I think most important, he focused on his Atlantic ears, which people usually don't give a shit about it, other than Giant Steps.
Right.
Those are phenomenal.
And my favorite things is pretty
yeah
too. But yeah, I don't have Giant Steps, and I would like to get that.
Get the Rhino, the 30th or not 30th, whatever, 60th anniversary. It was really good.
Ken McAuliffe recommended that. I'm going to show my MoFi Nefertiti.
Oh, very nice. I do not have that one. That is awesome.
So it's the second quintet. Nefertiti, I think this is 1968. And let's see what's on the inside. We got Miles looking pretty cool, chilling out.
Yeah.
So yeah, these sound fantastic. We kind of went over that, but yeah, definitely my number 3. These next 3 I'm about to show are maybe some of the best, my favorite and best sounding records in my collection. So this is
this is amazing.
The whole digital thing. I mean, it doesn't matter because this thing sounds incredible. So
there's just no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I've got a Nefertiti OG promo.
Yeah.
I think I've paid like $70-$80 for it, and it looks perfect, but man, it sounds like shit. It is just like not. It's not like the press or maybe the pressing quality. It's not like the music sounds bad. It's just super noisy.
Yeah.
It just happens sometimes, right? You see a record, it's 60 years old, and it looks fucking perfect, and you're like, this is gonna be amazing. And you get home, it just sounds like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not only noisy, but sometimes they sound like there's a blanket over your speakers, right?
Yep.
No, after I tried my first one, I got a couple more. It was kind of hard to pick one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this guy is a very important record. I think people sleep on it big time, and everybody should have it.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
cool.
Not a couple times.
Gil Melley, Patterns in Jazz with Eddie Bird, Joe Cinderella, Oscar Pettiford, Ed Tickpin. It's 1517. It's a very, very early one. This is also 45. Some of the best session photos I've ever seen.
That's great.
And it's a staple. I mean, the sound is so powerful. This mono is so good. And it's hard to get. I never saw an original of this one. I never know how much they're going for.
Yeah.
What's the catalog number on it?
1517.
Yeah. It's a very early one. And still available, still very cheap, ridiculously cheap, in my opinion. Directly from Music Matters, so don't sleep on it. And the cover is amazing. I mean, Patterns in Jazz. Every single dot looks different from the other.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's really cool.
It's great. I think it's a must-have. Don't sleep on it.
I've never heard that. Have you heard that one at all, Mike?
I sampled it when I was considering picking it up. And it's how would you describe it, Felipe? Is it kind of more like orchestral?
Some passages, Mike, but it's a very nice horn session. The sound is very big. It's very open. This mono just kicks ass. It's really good. It's playing on vinyl is very, very different experience from streaming or playing on small speakers for sure.
Yeah.
especially in 45. Yeah, it just sounds big. The band is right there. Yeah, yeah. No, it's really impressive music, beautiful, soulful. I dig this record. I play it very often, very very often.
All right, I don't have 5 this time. I have 3 records. Okay, and they're all kind of related. So
Okay, that sounds.
let's see. So
Oh yes.
this is the Bill Evans sect that I've got here. I've got this one's really good. So Bill Evans, You Must Believe in Spring. This came out on Craft, right, Felipe?
Yes, correct.
This year. It's probably still available. Wonderful, wonderful record. It's also it's got Eddie Gomez and Elliot Zygmunt on this, and I don't remember Elliot Zygmunt being on any of Bill's other stuff. That one's great.
No.
This is an amazing sounding record that y'all turned me on to. It's Shelly Man, Bill Evans with Monty Budwig, Empathy.
Empathy. Oh yeah.
Oh.
One of his finest. Oh yeah.
And beyond the sound on this one, the music's just amazing. Shelly and Bill, I wish they would have recorded like 50 records together because they're really good with each other. Like it's like 2 equal geniuses came together to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is my favorite. Bill Evans at the Montreux Jazz Festival. This is the 45 AP version, and this is just an insanely good sounding record.
I actually need this one. I don't have it. Gotta check it out.
Yeah, there's a bunch of versions, but I would highly recommend
the 45. Yeah,
the 45. In this case, it just sounds so good. So we're gonna need, Felipe, I know you have that Craft one.
Yes, I have that Craft. Highly recommended. I have people that I know that are big time collectors. They hate 45s. They reach out. They say, "Man, I don't care if it's a 45 because it's such beautiful music, such raw recording. What they did there is just magic. It's a great record. Really, really good."
Yeah, and what do you think about the Shelly Man one, Mike? You have that, don't you?
No, I don't have that.
I thought you had a copy of.
I have it.
Of Empathy. Okay, well, you should get it.
No, everybody who has it says it's great.
Yeah, he's got 2 Shelly Mans, but this one's the best for sure.
Yeah, and that cover art's just really cool looking.
Yeah, it's amazing. It looks like a speaker or ashtray or whatever, trash can, but a speaker. Looks more like a speaker.
It does look like a speaker.
Right.
My number 4 here is the magnificent Thad Jones, Music Matters Jazz. This
You're
is
very welcome.
Thank you, Felipe. Felipe gave me a heads up that this was back in stock for a moment, so I jumped on it, and so happy that I did. It's an incredible record, and there aren't that many reissues of it. I don't think are there Japanese reissues of this?
There might be one, yeah.
Maybe.
And it's just a hard record to get, but it's so good. I'm surprised it hasn't been reissued more, and really happy to get it. So it's Thad Jones trumpet, Billy Mitchell tenor sax, Barry Harris piano, Percy Heath bass, and Max Roach drums.
Oh wow!
And Thad Jones, he has another Blue Note. It has like yellow and white bars. It's like the New York Detroit Junction or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's another small group one because Thad is he kind of comes from like the old school big bands, right? I think he played with larger groups. So having him in a small group setting is really amazing. I mean, I wish he did more stuff like this because this record is incredible. They do like April in Paris, and like he's such a master that like when he's playing, like he'll quote like other songs like within this song, and you can kind of like it just kind of triggers that. So there's Billy do If I Love Again, If Someone Had Told Me, and the Dia. So it's great. I mean, this is it was hard not to pick this as my number 1. This could have very easily been it. So it's a great one.
I've not heard that record yet, and I really want to. The cover is got to be one of maybe the coolest jazz.
Oh
covers.
yeah. So this is Francis Wolff photography with Reed Miles design with the typography on it, and it's so classic.
It really is.
Yeah. And
I mean, the thing is, the Thad Jones record you find out in the wild are all the stuff he did with Mel Lewis. They're all like big band stuff. They're fine, they're good, but
look at Max with the glasses on in the studio.
Oh yeah. It's time for your number 1, Felipe.
My number 1. I'm not sure if it's the number 1. I didn't pick in any particular order, but this is a very dear record. I think it's the best. I heard like a handful of different versions, but this is like the best that I heard, and I think most anyone can confirm that people just love this. Still has a high regarded.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's the one step Mingus on. I don't care what people talk about if it's analog or not, but what they did here, I mean, the way the music comes across and fills the room and goes all over, the horns, the bass, the strings, it kind of involves you. It's such, and just zero noise, of course. And these records here, they're the best presentation ever, um, in my opinion, from the ones that I know. Um, Mingus is right there with you. This is very punchy, very aggressive, but you can still hear everything very clearly. And I think kind of matches a Mingus style in a sense. He was a very vocal person, very a big guy, loud guy,
Mhm.
with some, very very vocal, very present, very forward in a sense. And his records have all the kind of very similar sound feeling, right? If you hear like a couple notes, you know it's a Mingus record. That's absolutely out of the question. And what MoFi did here is great. And this is, and I think the Monk also is very good. Their Monk one step is very good. I don't have the Bill Evans, cannot say much about that, but this is a good one. And yeah, I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And regardless if it's digital, fully analog, doesn't matter. The music comes across beautifully, and I can't get tired of listening to this.
There's like not. I got a Record Store Day reissue maybe 2 or 3 years ago of it, and it's from I forget who.
I know.
And there is session outtakes on it, and I think it's not a great sounding pressing. I would love to upgrade it, but there isn't really a good modern reissue of it, other than that box, which is
Right.
not available. And then the originals, like clean originals, yeah, it gets pretty pricey, like $100 easy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's one that definitely could use a reissue. And the cover is so classic.
Yeah,
the cover is amazing. Yeah.
He does Goodbye Pork Pie Hat on that. It's a great song.
Mhm.
So it's a cool record.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
nice. Right, my number one.
Here we go.
This
Cover,
is
cover connection.
Showing all those records, I can't even imagine what you're going to show for number
Cover
one.
Connection. This
I
is the
know.
only one. Oh shit!
I know.
You're not a.
I'm guessing, okay, but I think I
Yeah,
know.
no, you're right too.
Levi.
You gotta hear here. So my number one is Time Out.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Brubeck Quartet. This is absolutely the best sounding record in my collection. It's not even close. It's not close. Like, this record sounds ridiculous, and it's also one of my favorite jazz records in general. But oh yeah, we got session photos in here too. Nice.
Cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, it's great. This is the record that makes me want to buy more 45s, honestly.
Mhm.
Right? Because the like, I have an OG. It's not like the cleanest copy, but this sounds better.
Yeah. No. Oh
The
yeah.
detail on this one is nuts. Like, this, just like the sustain of the cymbals seems to just go on forever, and you can just hear the whole thing. I mean,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah,
amazing.
it feels like you can hear like the metal shaking at the base of the snare drum, right? You can kind of feel that. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a great one.
It's my number one.
It's a great one, Chris.
What's your number one, Mike?
All right, so my number one favorite is again a Music Matters Jazz, and
Nice.
it's this Lee Morgan Candy.
Really?
You're welcome.
So incredibly good. Lee
Well, I
Morgan
ordered it, and then it
sounds
went
like
failed.
a master on this. It's
Yeah.
not even like his like technical like speed or anything like that. It's his feel on this record. Like when you're listening to it, I've never heard a trumpet player sound this good. So in addition to that, it's a 45 and it's Music Matters Jazz, and it sounds that the actual like pressing sounds incredible. So this one really, I was so happy when it came back in stock. I grabbed it, and this is like my favorite Lee Morgan record. I love this record. Really blew me away. I mean, I sampled it online, but like we were talking about earlier, like once you hear it at the best it can be heard, it's on this Music Matters 45. it is just incredibly good. Every time I listen to it, I'm surprised by how amazing his trumpet playing is. It's so good. So you have Lee Morgan trumpet, Sonny Clark piano, Doug Watkins bass, and Art Taylor drums. So killer quartet. Candy, Since I Fell for You, CTA, All the Way, Who Do You Love, I Hope, and Personality.
Mm-hmm.
The tracks, and it's my favorite one.
Very cool, man. I don't have that. I mean, I haven't even heard it, but that looks like
that's outstanding, Chris. You should get it if you can.
There he is.
You're available, yeah.
That looks like the U47 microphone, maybe.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's the quartet there. All the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Look, he's got some glasses on.
Yeah.
Yeah, drummers are wearing glasses.
That's Philly Joe, right?
That's Art Taylor.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And look at Sonny Clark. I feel like this is such a classic Sonny Clark photo where he's writing on the piano.
Yeah, that's really neat.
I feel like check this out. So this is cool. Check this out. Look at the Lee Morgan photo. Let me see if I can get this position here. Look what's behind him.
An old TV.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
There's a television. So that means this is at Rudy Van Gelder's house.
Oh wow.
Recorded in his mother's living room.
That's freaking cool.
I love when you could spot those things. So yeah, so Lee Morgan Candy. It's one that's really not spoken about all that much. I don't know if it's had that many reissues, so it may not be on everybody's radar, but check it out. It's my favorite.
Very nice.
Great pick. Great pick.
Thank you for watching. Let us know what you think about our selections. What are your favorite 45 RPM audiophile pressings? And remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you all.
See you. Thank you for coming.